Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and stay tuned for amazing content. Let's go. The Canadian 5-cent coin of 1974, featuring Queen Elizabeth II, is a small but historically significant piece of Canadian currency. Known commonly as the Canadian nickel, this coin has played an important role in everyday transactions across Canada. The 1974 issue belongs to the Elizabeth II series and represents Canada's tradition of stability in design, along with its cultural heritage and numismatic history. On the obverse front side of the coin, you can see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machen. This portrait was introduced in 1965 and continued to be used on Canadian coinage until 1989. The Queen is shown wearing a tiara, symbolizing her authority and the monarchy's connection to Canada as part of the Commonwealth. Surrounding the portrait are the words, Elizabeth II d.G. Regina, which is an abbreviated Latin phrase meaning, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. This phrase has been a traditional inscription on many coins of the Commonwealth nations. On the reverse back side, the coin features the iconic beaver design, which is one of the most famous and recognized images on Canadian coinage. This design was created by artist G.E. Kruger Gray and has been used on the Canadian nickel since 1937. The beaver, sitting on a rock, represents Canada's natural wildlife and the importance of the fur trade in Canadian history, particularly the beaver pelt, which played a central role in the economic development of the country during the colonial period. Above the beaver design is the word, Canada, while the denomination, 5 cents, appears prominently. The year of mintage, 1974, is inscribed below, making it clear when the coin was produced. The metal composition of the 1974 Canadian 5-cent coin is 100% nickel. This makes it different from earlier periods when nickel coins had some variations in their alloy, and from later years when nickel was replaced by other metal compositions due to rising costs. The 1974 nickel weighs approximately 4.54 grams, has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.76 millimeters. It also features a smooth edge with no reading, giving it a simple but distinct appearance compared to larger Canadian coins. The minting of this coin was carried out by the Royal Canadian Mint, which is responsible for producing all of Canada's circulation coins. Millions of these nickels were struck in 1974, ensuring they were widely used in daily commerce. While the 1974 5-cent coin is not particularly rare in circulation, well-preserved specimens, especially those in uncirculated or proof-like condition, are of greater interest to coin collectors. In terms of historical context, the 1970s were a period of economic growth and transition in Canada. Coins of this period reflected continuity in design and tradition, which helped preserve national symbols while maintaining public familiarity. The beaver design itself has become an emblem of Canadian coinage, just as the maple leaf symbolizes the penny and the caribou symbolizes the quarter. Collectors often admire the 1974 nickel as part of this long-standing series. From a numismatic value perspective, the 1974 Canadian 5-cent coin in circulated condition usually holds only face value 5 cents CAD. However, in uncirculated condition or with special qualities such as proof-like strike, the value can rise, sometimes reaching a few dollars depending on grade, rarity, and demand among collectors. Coins graded by professional services in high mint state condition Mississippi 65 or higher are particularly desirable. Additionally, there are certain varieties and mint errors that can make the 1974 Canadian nickel more valuable. These include off-center strikes, die cracks, double die errors, or planchette flaws. While such errors are uncommon, they are highly prized in numismatic circles. Some collectors also specialize in building full-date sets of Canadian nickels, making the 1974 issue an important part of the collection. Overall, the 1974 5-cent Canada coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is more than just small change. It is a representation of Canadian heritage, wildlife symbolism, and the country's ties to the British monarchy. Its design continues a tradition that has been admired for decades, making it a fascinating piece for historians, collectors, and anyone interested in the story of Canada's money. Whether kept as part of a collection, studied for its artistic design, or used to teach about Canadian history, the coin remains an enduring reminder of a nation's identity captured in metal. The 1974 Canadian 5-cent coin, featuring Queen Elizabeth II, is a small yet highly symbolic piece of Canadian numismatic history. Struck by the Royal Canadian Mint, this coin belongs to the long-running nickel series that has been in use since the early 20th century. The obverse of the coin depicts the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machen, which was first introduced in 1965 and used on Canadian coinage until 1989. This portrait shows the Queen wearing a tiara, symbolizing dignity, monarchy, and the constitutional role of the sovereign in Canada. The inscription around the portrait reads, Elizabeth II d.G. Regina, which is Latin for, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. On the reverse side of the coin, the iconic beaver design by G.E. Kruger Gray is featured, a national emblem of Canada and a creature that symbolizes industry, perseverance, and the role it played in Canada's fur trade history. The beaver sits on a rock surrounded by water, with the words, 5 cents, above, Canada, below, and the date 1974 engraved beneath the country's name. This coin was struck in nickel metal, with a diameter of 21.2 mm, a thickness of 1.76 mm, and a weight of 4.54 grams. Its edge is smooth, distinguishing it from higher denominations that often have reeded edges. The 1974 issue belongs to the modern Canadian coinage period, during which nickel coins were widely used in daily transactions across the country. Millions of these coins were minted, making them common in circulation, yet they remain collectible due to their age, historical relevance, and the association with Queen Elizabeth II's early reign. The coin's condition, rarity in high grades, and any mint errors can significantly affect its value. Circulated examples are generally inexpensive, but uncirculated and proof-like specimens are sought after by collectors. In the broader historical context, the 1970s era in Canada was marked by cultural development, economic growth, and national pride. Coins like the 1974 5-cent piece reflected continuity in Canadian identity, with strong ties to the monarchy and national symbols such as the beaver. The coin also represents a period before major composition changes in Canadian coinage, as later decades saw transitions from nickel to steel alloys. Collectors often see the 1974 nickel as part of a bridge between the mid-20th century coinage and the more modern designs that would follow. For those interested in numismatics, this coin is not only a piece of currency but also a small artifact of Canadian heritage, embodying art, symbolism, and history in a single durable form.